What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome to a new episode of Unspoken Truth. I'm your host, Denise. What's up? We made it. We back again. So tonight's episode is probably gonna be a little tough for people, but we gotta talk about it. Hey, cuz. Tonight's topic is the emasculation of the black man. So my guest is my cousin, my peoples. He's a return guest. So let's get down to it because I really want to hear what he got to say. Okay, Prophet.
Going on?
What's
How you
up,
doing?
cuz? I'm
What's
doing
going
good.
on with that? I'm
Hey,
down in.
welcome
Yeah,
back.
I'm excited. We can talk about whatever. You know me. I'm down and being transparent as it can be, cause the church and the
Well,
world and the world need to hear it. How about
mm-hmm,
that?
mm-hmm. But see, while I was at work earlier, I was thinking like, okay, because I got a bunch of topics, but I was just thinking like, who would be perfect for this conversation? Because I don't believe in people speaking out of turn, if that makes any sense.
Right.
Tonight's topic is the emasculation of the black man, and it's so many different components and levels to that. Okay, so I jotted a few things down. I want to start with the definition of emasculation because a lot of people don't know what that means. When they hear that, some people may automatically think castration. Yes, that is a definition, but that's not what we talking about right now. We talking about the world and society, the system. You get what I'm saying? Mother and daddy wounds. It's a lot of different components. Okay. Um, okay, I'm gonna start off with a definition. Emasculation is to deprive of strength, vigor, or spirit, or to castrate. So I said that that is part of the definition, but we not talking about that. But we really is, because in some scenarios, when it comes to y'all, there is a sever, there is a cutoff, if that makes sense, and the things that y'all able to do or unable to do when it comes to the world. So just talk, let's talk about what you believe that means. The topic itself, being a black man.
Being a black man in America, a lot of times we already counted out. We already
Mm,
we already counted out. Um, Most time when different races say it like that, look at us. We got to be poor. We got to be uh, judged as a man.
mm,
Because they believe once you did something, you always that. That's not true.
ooh, mm,
Uh, we always in jail. Uh, they call us. They give us so many names. They already, like I said, we already written off. And
mm,
even in your generation of your household, as a man, a lot of fathers is not in the home. So a lot of
mm,
sons grow up hurt because the man ain't in the home with the masculinity. That's why we
yes,
got a
sir.
lot of. That's why we got a lot of these. I'm gonna say it like this: sweet boys out here because
Mm,
because you got you know mothers. A mother can't be a father.
no,
A
sir.
father can't be a father can't be a mother.
No, it had to be
So
an equal balance between of the
right,
two.
and a lot of
Uh,
kids grow
for a
up,
child to have a fighting chance,
and then another
especially man.
yes. Then another thing is I really always talk about how can you be a father and you never been raised by a father, so you haven't even been taught from day one.
Mm,
You came out the womb not even know how to be a father. It's a difference. I tell people this. I give this example. It's a difference for being a husband and being a father.
Yep.
Your
Yep.
father may not watch this. For example, I'm gonna give you a prime example. My father was a father, a great father. Taught us how to you gotta work, you gotta do this, you gotta do that, you gotta do that. But he couldn't teach me how to be a husband.
Mm, that's so good. Mm, okay.
I didn't learn how
You
to be a
saying
husband.
those are two different things. One that has to be learned on its own by itself, separate from whatever is instilled or poured into you from your father, is what you're
Right,
saying. Okay.
right.
Okay. I
So
just want to make sure we're on the same
my
page.
dad took care of home. My dad did everything impossible. But some things we see as kids, you say, we'll say, I wouldn't do that. If I get married, because that was me, I'm not going to do that as a husband.
Mm. Mhm.
So,
So we was talking about that earlier,
right.
where we was talking about everybody don't have our mindset. Everybody
No,
don't see things the way we see it. And
no,
that's part of why we gotta have these kind of conversations. They hard, you know.
it
Um,
hurts.
yes, they're hard, but it teaches us vulnerability and transparency so that we can discuss the hard, hurtful, painful stuff that comes with just being. Does that make
Hmm.
sense? Just being here, just
Yes, ma'am.
being alive, just living.
I tell my kids all the time. Another thing, too, tell my kids because I'm married to a woman that already had two kids, right? I taught my kids all their life. Their dad was in their life, but he did he didn't know how to be a father. But we can't blame him. He's not in your life like that, but never disrespect him.
Mm.
As the
Ooh.
stepfather, as the stepfather, but they my kids, I'm their father. And don't never disrespect that man. Call that man, see how he doing, and this don't call him for money. Call him, see how he doing. He may not be doing the best job. He's doing only what he's capable of doing. The
Mm.
available,
Do you feel like that? Do you feel like that plays a part in
I
some
play
of
the
the
part.
younger
Now,
generation and how they respond
a lot
to
of them respond.
that hurt, to that pain, to that anger that comes with that?
A lot of them don't have an outlet.
Mm.
A lot
Okay.
of younger people is going off of anger and rage. I see it all the time. I used to go down to
Emotional,
roller
emotionally
coaster,
unstable males,
roller coaster,
because
roller coaster.
I can't call those type of people men. I know that they anatomy says that they're men, but the way that they choose to live, to me, does not qualify them as a man. For me, I feel like a man is very dangerous when he's emotionally unstable.
A lot of times it come with growing up.
Mhm.
If you in the household with motion, not motion unemotional people,
Ooh,
sometimes it
okay.
some sometimes
Because ooh, we
in the
gotta talk
household.
about that
Hold
because
on, hold on. I'm about to hit you with this because sometimes you're in a household with a whirlwind is about the atmosphere that you in,
yes.
so you want to adapt what the atmosphere
Mhm.
is.
Mhm. Learn behavior.
Yeah, that's part of
Mhm.
masculinity. Learn behavior.
Yeah.
If it quack like a duck, it's gonna quack. You get what I'm saying? So a lot of us don't haven't learned, and it's a generational thing.
Mhm.
That's another thing we got to look at. We got to look
Yeah.
down in our bloodline, in our gene, in our generation. Okay, mama did it like that. Daddy did it like that. It didn't work for them. I'm not gonna do it like that. Like you said, some of us got to break that generational curse thing somewhere down the line. But you have a lot of people going off emotions
Mm.
and unlearned, so they don't know how to. Uh, only way they know how to act out is they don't know how to scream. They talk to you, but they talking at you, but not to you.
Ooh. Ooh. Wait, because we got to talk about that. I feel like a lot of the stuff that we're gonna talk about tonight is on both ends of the spectrum. It's not just some of the things that y'all feel like y'all up against. I feel like the women feel like that too. But we not talking about us, but collectively, I feel like those feelings are shared amongst the woman and the man. Um, because, like you said, it's the environment, the household, the upbringing. A lot of us still living in that trauma. A lot of us have not acknowledged, have not had the hard conversations that they need to have with the parent, that they feel, because I had to do it. I had to do it. I've walked around very angry with my father, not understanding that he just a man. Yes, he is my father, like what you're saying. But if a man don't know, he don't know. You
No,
know,
no.
I think it's a little more painful when they don't know and they don't acknowledge versus if they acknowledge what they don't know. Does that make sense? Like,
Yeah.
I didn't know. That's exactly what my father told me. I just didn't know. And if I knew that because I didn't know and didn't try or put forth more effort or try to understand the things that you was doing, lashing out because of my absence or my inconsistency, then I would have thought things through more. You know what I'm saying? From a father's perspective.
That's good. You
Because
just
I
said
feel
it.
like the father is very important no matter if you got a daughter or a son. You're so important, so necessary.
And a
Um,
lot of I'm gonna say this. You said something real good. Trauma.
yes. Hmm.
Trauma. A lot of us still traumatized when we was 7 years old.
Yeah.
Some of us
Hmm.
still traumatized when we was 12 years old, 15
Hmm.
years old. A lot of things play out in the household that a lot of people don't know the outlet to tell.
Ooh, ooh, let's talk about it. Ooh, that's so. Let's talk about it.
Because one of them be,
Hmm.
watch this. This is gonna hurt the world right here. Family members touching on you.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Daddy ain't there. Mama there. Mama got that supposed to be your uncle. They say that's your uncle. They always say the uncle. Said somebody your uncle.
Hmm.
Uncle touching little so and so. So he growing up thinking now he done got that on him. Now he growing up thinking it's fine when he in a relationship to touch on little so and so.
Because you start to become what you
No,
don't deal with. You
don't.
start to become the
Because a
person
lot, a
who
lot of
can
us don't
deal.
deal with that. Scared to deal with
Woo,
it.
that's so good.
Scared, still,
Come on,
still,
talk,
scared,
talk to me, cuz. Come
scared,
on.
scared, scared to deal with. Okay, you in the
Mhm.
house, so you telling mama now, you telling grandmama now, you
But
telling
ain't
auntie
nobody
now.
doing nothing.
Go sit your tail down somewhere. You just being fast. That's the girls. I'm gonna go on the girl side too. You just being fast. You not being fast. That's what he into, but you don't believe it. Now I
Mm-mm.
got to grow up with trauma all my
Mm.
life, been touched all my life, to the point it done numbed you like
Mm-hmm.
it's normal.
Yeah. And it
So that's
causes you to not show up as a parent the way you should because you didn't deal with the trauma that you, ooh, that's so
at
good.
7 years old. And then
Mm-hmm.
another thing, this you may deal with it. You're it happened when you were 7 or 12. Now you're 27
Mm-hmm.
and still dealing with it because now you think every man is the same.
Mm. Yeah.
It's not
Or you start to believe that's who you are
right. That's
with
just
this.
like that's just like love. If you don't know how to love a person, you may say I love you, but you're not in love with that person,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yep, because those are
A
two
lot of
those are two different
two different
things.
things. So you may
Mm-hmm.
this what you was taught how to love a person, but you think now you okay. This how I was taught how to love me. When I love your heart. That's what I
Mm.
was taught.
That's a
That mean I
trauma.
love.
That's a trauma response.
That mean I
And
love you for real. I don't care what they say. I love you. You hear me? But a lot of people not haven't been taught love. That's
mhm,
another part of trauma. And then as a man, yes, we get emotional. We do cry. Dang, I don't mean you a punk or nothing like that.
But
That's me. It's
see, this is where the some of the mother wounds come in. You understand
that's
what I'm saying? Where
that's what
the
I'm about to
mother
get
is
to.
telling him, like, if
Baby, it's
these
gonna be all right.
characteristics show up one day, then you less of who you are. Okay.
Cause you,
And I'll
we
take it a step further, us as mothers, that some of the things that we do to traumatize our sons by putting them in a position where they being told that they the man of the house and
watch this.
trying to live up to that expectation, knowing that it's greater than who they currently are. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's right.
I
Because
had to learn that that's the mistake I was making with my own son. Oh, hold on, like, and I didn't know. It took for
and
somebody
then,
to explain it to me a certain way for me to be like,
yeah,
like
he ain't the man
you.
of the house.
Yeah, but I
He ain't the
thought
man of the
that
house.
that was the right thing to do without realizing that you
But
cannot fill a void that you did not create.
guess what? You ain't know. You
Mhm.
just didn't know. So now you know he ain't the man of the house. See, a lot of stuff we are unlearned and uneducated because we really don't like to read books for one.
Mhm. Yeah.
A lot of st- a lot of
We
a lot of
books
stuff
are
is in
his
the book.
own.
A lot of stuff, and
Mhm.
then a lot of times we don't want to go to therapy.
Woo! Let's talk about because we've been told that therapy means that you crazy instead of realizing that if you don't go seek the help, that's what really makes you crazy to a
That's what
sane
they get
person.
paid for. That's what they
Yeah.
get paid for
Yeah. Because
to
I can
help
remember
you.
my parents trying to get me help at a young age too. But I had a warped sense of what a therapist's job was. So I was unable to allow them to do it. Does that make sense? Like
Yeah,
I knew I needed the help. And I
yeah.
spent 20 years running from it. Like, okay, long as I ain't got to deal with it right this moment, it's good, all good. But no, and that's something that we do to try to avoid accountability, responsibility.
She just said something real good. She said we run from.
You can't run from yourself. And that's a problem that all of us struggle with at some season in our life where we think that we can
You running
outrun
from you. You
what's
really
up.
running from you.
But you don't realize that whatever you going through that you trying to run from gonna already be there before you get there because it's a part of you and you got to deal with it. And a lot of people don't like that. It's uncomfortable. But growth, period. It's
A lot of people don't
uncomfortable.
like. They don't
And
like that.
nobody is really talking about that. They talking about what's on the other side of doing the work, but they're not talking about what's along the way, the process itself.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the process. That I was just talking to somebody about process earlier. A lot of things we don't want to go through the process of doing, and we have to face reality of, or take accountability of. Look,
Mhm.
I got to face this factor. Okay,
Yeah.
mama. Let me ask mama this. Look, what happened? What happened, my look? What happened with you and daddy? Why did daddy leave here? What was the real reason? And a lot of times we don't get the real reason. So that's why another reason we walk around with all this drama and trauma, drama
Because
and trauma.
you saying we're only getting one side of the story.
We don't know what daddy may be done left because mama was getting on his nerves for real.
Mhm.
Or mama be done left because daddy getting on his nerves for real. But we will really never know the real story until both of them is in front of you, sitting down, like, this what happened at childhood. I couldn't handle you, so I gave him. I couldn't be a man. I'm calling him a man, but I didn't know how to be a father. I didn't know how to raise you, so I just left y'all. But I just ran. You talked about running,
Mhm.
so he seen his daddy do it, so he bailed too.
Yeah. It's a pattern.
Yeah,
Every family has a pattern, whether you want to accept that or not.
or not. It's
But
just reality.
it's like a rope. Okay, I use that as an example. The knots that's within that rope is the patterns that's been created from generation to
It's a
generation.
generation.
Yeah.
And then, and then
And
it's two different things too. I'm about to tell you about. Is a difference between a father and a dad.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. A lot of people, and this goes both ways as well. A lot of people think because they went half on the creation, that automatically makes them a mother or automatically makes them a father. But that's not true
No.
because one does something that the other one doesn't. One is they maintaining the kids.
Hmm.
Make sense?
Yeah.
Other is sacrificing. The other one understands the end goal, the bigger picture of the creation and life itself, the family structure, what
Hmm.
what the family is supposed to entail, what we can do as a family, how we can help each other grow. It's a lot of components to having a family. It's not just you giving birth or you essentially just raising the child or the kids. No, that's not how it goes. It's a lot involved,
It's a
and I think.
process.
But see, a lot of people. Ooh, see, because we gotta talk about. You talked about maturity. I believe that immaturity is part of the reason why a lot of men feel emasculated
And then a lot of times
in the
too. Uh,
world, to the world, not just inside of their skin, but to the world. Because like you talked about, I'm already targeted. It's a bullseye on my back as soon as I'm born. It's a what's the word I want to use? It's certain things that's set in place already before I even had a chance to learn certain things or not. Does that
mhm.
make sense?
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. For
Um,
example, I'm gonna give you an example right quick. I got 5 felonies, right? Five
mm,
felonies. I moved to a different state. I haven't been in trouble since 2006, right? Watch this. I go to get a job. I didn't change. Everybody know I changed, but the system
mm,
and the,
let's
and the
talk about
people
it. Yes.
and the system and the people. Every time I go for an interview, I say I changed. I'm not the man I used to be. Blah 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 blah. I do this. I do that now. Blah blah blah. But they look at your past
Mhm,
and they don't look at the future because you got so many people saying the same thing. Men saying the same thing, especially black men saying, I'm reformed, I'm this, I'm that. But the
mhm,
society or the system to them, you ain't gonna never change. You always gonna be a drug dealer. You always gonna be this. You always gonna be a thief. Once a thief, always no, it's not.
mhm.
I done
Yeah.
broke that cycle. You know what I'm saying? We don't. A lot of men have broke the cycles of it, and that's
Mm,
why we end up start getting our own businesses because the system won't hire us because we have these type of things on our records.
mhm. And that's part of the agenda because
Yep,
I had that on my list. The system.
I I have
The
a chance
system
already.
is certain things that's like I said that's been put in place already to try to fill the void of the absence of the black man. Do,
Hmm.
do you do you follow where I'm going with this? All
Hmm.
the way down to us, the women, the mothers, exchanging help from the system in exchange for your absence.
Yep. Men ain't in the
With
house now. You
food
got to be on
stamps,
welfare. Now you got to be on
Medicaid,
food.
Section 8,
Yeah.
you name it, they've already created these entities to try to eliminate or act as though y'all, the show can still go on without y'all. But we know better than that. A lot of women is waking up now. We
See a lot.
realizing like
Yeah.
we got played too. Y'all didn't just get played by yourself. We got played too. Because I'm one of those mothers, yes, I would be considered by other people to have made poor decisions with the people that I had children with. That's something I have to take accountability for myself as a mother and as a woman. But at the same time, I didn't realize that I really needed the help. You get what I'm
Mm.
saying? I didn't realize that that's what I was doing. I didn't realize that was the transaction. Okay.
It could-
Um,
right.
I
And
was
you got to
stupid.
be careful.
A lot of us.
A lot of times we haven't been taught this either. I tell people this all the time. You just talked about something about laying down with who you had kids with. One thing about me in my life, always said this. I really didn't want kids. I only got one. I got one child. I really got three. But my
Yeah.
biological daughter, I really didn't want no kids. But I said, if I do have a kid, the kid I'm gonna have, I'm gonna marry that person
Mm.
because I grew up in a 2 parent household.
Yeah.
Everybody know that. I grew up with my mother and father all my life. So I don't know how to feel. I see my friends out there, they got just their mother. I had some of them just had their father.
Mm.
It was the role was changed. And my thing was, if I had this child, I want to marry this woman. I'm gonna be the best dad I could be. No, the best father I could be, the best husband I could be, the best provider I could be. Because
Mm.
I think that.
Yeah.
My dad was he's a great provider. He was a great this. My dad was excellent, great. I put him on 100. But it's a difference in a 2 parent home than a 1 parent home.
Yeah.
So it was some things I had to break as a generational thing on both sides. So because it may come with alcoholism,
Mm.
smoking weed, uh,
Mm.
crack, cocaine. You may see this growing up and thinking, okay, that's fine. That mama and them did it, daddy them did it. Now I'm gonna do it.
Mm.
Cause the only reason I just smoke weed, I started smoking weed because I seen my dad smoke weed. I'm gonna try it out. I tried it out at 9 years old.
Mm.
Drinking since I was drinking at 10 years old, right?
Mm.
Watch this. I seen my grandparents. I used to stay with my grandparents. And every Friday, they close the gates. They have people come over, stay from Friday to Sunday, and they have a party.
Mm.
Who at who at the party in the basement dancing for money? Me. I'm dancing for money, and they don't know I'm stealing liquor. They drunk.
Mm.
I'm only doing what I seen them do.
Mhm.
You adapt to your environment, especially as a kid. Kid pick up on anything. Kids
That's
pick up anything.
yeah, a child is a sponge, but that
It's
was your
fun.
only example. So it was like, yeah, you had friends, but still, this is where I live. So
This where
whatever
I
is
live.
going on inside of this household, I'm
So you better not tell
automatically
them what's going on. You better not
yeah,
tell what's going on in the household either.
yeah, you bet, yeah. See,
And I
now
learned
that right there is also a thing that I feel like emasculate Shaw as black men. The thing, I mean, and I'm not saying that at the time that it was being said that it wasn't effective, but currently you don't tell your kids whatever go on in this household, especially when it's toxic, dysfunctional, and harmful. Don't discuss it
I'm
because
discussing with nobody.
you putting that child essentially in bondage. Okay,
And you and
with
you gonna stay there till you
all
get
that
grown.
stuff. I feel the same way about men who end up going to the military. And that's going to be another episode and topic that I do, the mindset of a soldier. Because there is a lot of stuff that they get told they cannot discuss after they witness or after they participate and engage in. And to me, that is a mental abuse for me to be able to have to hold and all this stuff be dormant inside of me and not be able to get it out, not be able to discuss it.
And that's when that's trauma,
Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
trauma you got for all your life, and you need help, and you screaming for help, and still can't get the help.
Mm-hmm. I also feel like the women who say I don't need a man severs y'all in a certain way. Maybe it cuts y'all. It may not necessarily behead y'all, for example, but it still cuts. You still have a slash behind that because I I don't understand that. I'm not sure if it's a trend or if it's stemming and rooted in just hurt because I feel like on both ends of the spectrum, there's a lot of hurt. There's a lot of stuff that hasn't been healed. It's a lot of stuff that hasn't been acknowledged. It's a lot of okay, you got hurt. Acknowledge that. Feel that. Don't
I
lay in it, don't roll in it, don't live in it. But your emotions and your feelings are for a reason. Whatever this life is the experience. Is how
yeah,
I see it. Everything that you
right.
go through is the experience that comes with feelings, emotions. For you to ignore that and not even acknowledge that something happened that caused me to feel like this, that caused me to move like this, that caused me to live like this,
Yeah.
that you
You,
you have to,
it's a
because
lot
if
of hurt,
you don't, it's
pain.
going to eat you from the inside out. This is what I tell people. You don't acknowledge it, you don't deal with it, it's like a virus. It's like a
Gonna keep
disease.
popping back up. Gonna keep
Yeah.
popping back on you.
I'm
And when women say that, I don't need a man to raise this child, or I don't need a man in my life, or I don't need a man because they've been hurt so many times
Mhm.
as a woman. Because a lot of times we go for the wrong man, we go for the wrong things as a man. First of
Mhm.
all, you gotta pray and ask God. See,
Mhm.
I ask, so I pray to
Totally.
ask God, was this my wife? A lot of
Yeah.
us don't do that, or we
Mhm.
we we would have laid down with all these people and get all these.
Soul
You
ties.
get a lot of those.
Mhm.
I've been there, done that, and it's hard to break the soul tie because you don't know where that person been. They don't know where you been. You done had sex with these people, multiple people. Because some people have sex with multiple peoples in one day.
Mhm. That's a lot
They,
of energies and a
they
lot
may
of.
have. I know people when I was out there in the streets, and I was one of them. I may have sex with two or three women in one day. Three different energies, three
Mhm.
different soul ties in one day.
And everything that come with that person, they attitude,
So,
they move, they
and you
energy.
wonder why when you wake up in the morning, like, why am I tripping? And you know that ain't you tripping. That's the three different addicts, the three different people, or the two different people, or that one person you done
Mhm.
slept with. Like I don't never wake up angry. Oh, now I'm angry because, but you
It's all the
don't,
stuff that they was battling with, struggling with,
it got on
not
you,
trying to deal with or work on, all of that, all of it,
but you
everything.
don't, but you don't acknowledge it till your eyes get open.
But I think that's because you hurt,
Hurt
pulled
people, hurt
you
people.
and unhealed, and that's why you don't acknowledge it. That's why it doesn't have the same sting or the same effect as a person who understands that. Do you get what
It's-
I'm saying? Like, because a lot
Yeah,
of us feel like, oh, by a certain age, I should have already learned that. But see, we don't realize that that's not how this goes.
so
You gonna take
it's not
the test
always
as
true.
many times as necessary when you haven't learned what you needed to learn from the experience.
A lot of times that's not as hurt people. A lot of hurt people hurt people.
Yeah, that's a fact. Hmm.
So, and then a lot of times as men, let me say something about the men. Men get hurt too.
Yeah, y'all do.
Watch this, for example. I'm just talking about me. I always tell when I get in a relationship, I say, look here, I love hard. Once I start loving you, because first we start dates, liking, you know what I'm saying? Once I start loving you, I love hard. So don't play me in the middle of loving hard. Because it's gonna hurt me. A lot of times when you hurt a person so many times as I'm saying as a man aspect. I've been hurt so many times by women that you won't when you get married or when you get with a person that is on your level as a man, sometimes that trauma follows you, right?
Mm,
And you so scared when you in the marriage, because it happened to me, that that person is either gonna leave you, cheat on you, or something gonna happen crazy. Because it happened so many times in the past.
mhm.
Men may not talk about that, but it happened to us. I'm gonna be the
Yeah,
first one to talk about it. I'm so scared, and that's one of my deliverance I've been working on. I'm getting delivered. I got delivered from that because that was still in my heart. I'm scared this person gonna do this to me. Been married 16 years, right?
Man, wifey ain't going nowhere, man. That's
We know that, but that
it's
plays back in
it's
your
the
mind. The trauma
psychological.
plays
Yeah,
back
it's
in your mind. Oh
mhm,
man, one day because you may look at yourself, okay, I done gained weight. Let's keep it 100. I done
mm,
gained weight. We look at each other, I done gained weight. I don't look like I used to when we first got married. So that plays back in your mind. That it's a spirit. It ain't nothing but a spirit. Oh, you done got fat now. She ain't gonna want you. She looking at other men. It plays in your mind as a man. And a woman don't think that plays in your mind. It
it's an
does.
insecurity.
It's an insecurity.
It's
Now
an
you
insecurity,
already,
and that's
yeah,
dangerous.
it's
That's
very
dangerous.
dangerous.
Hmm.
You could lose a whole marriage on insecurity.
A good person,
That that
forever
person
person
because
behind what you
that
what you
came back
won't
up
hear.
in you and it came back to you like, man, where did this come from? We've been doing good. But
Mhm.
as a man, we gotta learn how to face our insecurities.
Mm. Mhm. At least discuss, but I feel like y'all don't because a lot of y'all have been told not to. A
And
lot of y'all
a
have
lot of men
not
are
been
introverts. What you call it?
who have
Introverts.
created a space for y'all to do that. Because I hear a lot of men say, we don't get heard. Y'all
They
dismissive.
lie.
Y'all don't, and I'm like,
Some of the men been hurt so
for
many times
me,
they numb.
I
They
don't, that's
numb.
not my experience. My experience has been I'm asking questions because I'm trying to have a better understanding of you as a man, who you
Hmm.
are at your core, not who you portraying to be or pretending to be, but who you
That's right.
are at your core. Because that's the person who I wanna uh be with. That's the person I want to connect with, your authentic self. But if me asking certain questions trigger you, that makes me feel like, okay, you got some emotional stuff that you ain't dealt with. And
That's
if
true.
you ain't dealt with that, then you can't show up the way I'm going to need you to show up in this connection anyway. It's the same thing if I was in that situation. Because a lot of people be like, well, why you not married or date? It's not that I don't date. It's not that I haven't been married. I have. But I was young and I didn't know as much as I know now back then. So
Because
if
marriage is,
it
watch
was
this, marriage is
learning,
work.
yeah,
Marriage is a job.
yeah. And a lot of
7 days a
people
week.
want it, but they don't understand what's required on
No,
on,
I'm gonna tell you. Let me
on
just
the
get no, no,
physical
no.
level, on the spiritual level. Uh,
They want the
they don't
sex. They want the
they,
sex, and they don't know what's gonna come after the sex. So what you gonna do when wifey or your husband they go through those spurts of
I don't
they
feel
don't
like
want to do nothing,
I'm
but they
cool.
don't want to do nothing.
I'm
Yeah.
not
Then what
interested.
you gonna do? That's when people go out and cheat, and that's not the thing to do.
Well, I would say that's embedded in you marrying for the wrong reason to begin with.
No, not all the time because some people have the mindset of she don't give me none, so I'm gonna get it myself. You just said something. When you spiritual, like
Mhm.
I'm spiritual, I'm not gonna. I never cheat on my wife. I never did. People ask me all the time, "Have you ever cheated on your wife?" I said, "No, I'm scared of God." For one, because you married the Bible.
Ah,
You said for better for
man, talk
worse.
your talk.
You
Okay.
said for better for worse.
Yeah.
I, so if it's for better for worse, if she half dead, you're supposed to still be there with her. But a lot of us try to find any scapegoat to get a divorce.
Because it's the
E-
easy way out. That's why.
easy way
Yeah.
out to not have a responsibility.
Yeah. But that's what I mean when I say married for all the wrong reasons, because you don't understand the responsibility that comes with marriage. See,
It's a job.
I was under the impression, okay, we was happy that day. We talked about this because we did an episode last year on is marriage for everybody. If you
Yeah.
didn't get a chance to catch the episode, go watch it, man. We talked about this. We talked about marriage not being for everybody.
It's
Um,
it's it's
and
all it's all everything's ordained by God, first of all. And then if you don't you can't just marry see people just marry anybody. They don't even ask God, is this my wife or is this my This is my husband. We just go out and just I, I'm in love with this person. I'm gonna go marry. Ain't a lot of times we don't check their background either.
Woo! Oh, okay. So I'm in love with you, so I'm just gonna go marry you. Do you think
This
that
man
that's
may be. This
because?
may be. Watch this. For example, I was going to church with somebody down in Florida. This man was a great man. This I thought this man was a great man. His attitude, his I'm talking about every time you see he got his kids, he man, you'll be like, this is a good guy. It's a good dude. Look on the news. What happened? They looking for him.
Mm,
Married the lady. I guess the lady wanted divorce. I don't know. Killed the lady. Had the lady in what you call that? They found her days later in a storage unit. This man was coming to church every Sunday.
wow.
Right? Watch this. She didn't check his background. 20 years ago, 16 years ago, he did the same thing in another state.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
One thing I love about my wife, she checked my background.
Mm-hmm.
You got to check the history of people. I tell women all the time, check that joker out.
You better,
See
because
if
guess
he's a
what?
rapist. See if
That
he's
risk.
what he was in jail for. Was he a rapist? Was he this? Was he that? You don't
Yeah,
want any
you
first.
better do
You
the
don't want.
background check,
You
because
don't
some
want
of these
anybody around
people
your
be on the
kids,
sex offenders list. Some of them be registered sex offenders.
and you don't
I
want.
I had a situation like that, scared the shit out of me,
Watch this. You don't
because
want anybody around your
I wouldn't
kids.
believe it.
You don't want everybody
Yeah,
around your kids. For one,
no.
for two, I tell women that all the time. I say, look here, check. My old pastor taught us that. All the leaders. And when you check that person's background, then watch that person. When you with that person, that real them gonna come out eventually. Or go
Mm,
visit their parents. Go visit their mama and them. Mama might be crazy, but best believe it's in that generation. Daughter
yeah.
may have a little trait of what mama got. Or the son may have a little trait what daddy got.
Hmm.
You gotta watch. We don't watch that. We just fall in love and we love this person.
We
We
don't
going up on
realize
it.
that that's the honeymoon phase. I talked about that on the episode I did a few weeks ago on online dating. It's called the honeymoon phase, and it can last anywhere from 6 months to 2 years. But when you come back down to
Off
reality,
the
to the
that high.
thick of
It's a high.
things, yes, it definitely is a high. When you come down off of it and reality set in, you start to notice things about that person that maybe you really
Like,
don't like.
hold on. Where that come from? Who
Yeah,
is
no,
this person?
yeah.
Why is they talking like that? Why is this
Mhm.
what? Hold on. Where's that old person that I met
Because
at the
it's a
altar?
it's an illusion, if you will. For
We got comfortable.
oh
Now I'm about to show them the real me. Oh, we done got comfortable with you
yeah,
now, baby.
I love
I
that.
got you now, baby. We
I
10
love
years
that.
in. I got you now. We 15 years in. Oh, I really it is more stuff exposing each year. You like, especially if your eyes open, you like,
Yeah,
hold on. Like with me, I grew up, I'm just gonna talk about me, be transparent. I was a lazy kid. I was a spoiled kid. I really didn't have to do nothing for real. My mama gonna make my bed. My grandma gonna cook. I say my grandma, she gonna make sure I'm fly. She gonna make. But we had times when we was poor. But watch this. As I got my own apartment, right? I'm gonna pay somebody to clean up. I wasn't a clean up guy. I wasn't. I'm gonna make sure my body clean, but my house may be a little junk, right?
mhm.
When I got married, my wife already noticed because my bishop made us write 10 things you like about this person, 10 things you don't like about this person. See, us men really don't have nothing on y'all. Y'all have a lot on us. We don't have a lot on y'all because y'all are y'all use both sides of your brains for one. Y'all smarter than us. That's a fact. But men don't think that. Yes, y'all
That's
are more
that's their ego talking. That's all.
look, y'all more anointed than us. Y'all got the goods. and they need to quit playing with it. You hear me? I'm just
Mm.
gonna so
Woo.
y'all
Mm,
got the goods. God, when God bless Eve, He bless y'all with the goods. I'm gonna just leave that at that. That's a whole nother topic.
mm,
But uh, I'm the type of person I used to always buy new clothes. When I step out my clothes, I might not throw it in the hamper. I might have it right on the side of the bed.
mm,
I may not clean it up that day, but I'm gonna clean up before that week out. I'm gonna clean that up. Now you seeing that? That's a trait. Okay, he don't like to clean up on the same day.
mm. Habits.
Habits we have. All of us have them.
Yeah.
Then you might have a person she might be OCD.
Ooh, that's me. I can't help it. Oh, oof.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not OCD, but she OCD.
Mm,
You know, and another thing I was about to talk about is us men. We don't like to pour out to women because I'm talking about me. Cause we scared what y'all gonna judge us on.
mm. And I was just about to ask you that no support from women, family, the community, society, I believe plays a major factor.
Y'all, we scared y'all gonna
And the
judge
reason
us.
why y'all don't pour out.
We
And
don't
that's
pour
what
out.
I meant
That's
when
me.
I said y'all don't feel safe. Just like we struggle feeling safe with y'all don't
But-
necessarily feel safe with us. And this is why a lot of stuff won't be revealed. It'll be more behavior wise than it'll be a conversation or communication. It'll be a lash out or
Yep.
something instead of us sitting down and having a transparent conversation.
And then us men too. We don't like this. A lot of men don't like this. I'm just teaching the men, and I'm gonna teach the women this too. That when we pour out, or like with me, I may say the wrong word. You know what I mean, but I don't. Something I don't. I got to work on correction.
Mhm.
I'm just talking about me. I ain't talking about no other man, right? Because I'll be transparent. Because I want some people to get this. I don't like to pour out. Now I can talk to everybody else, but I don't talk to my wife like I'm talking to y'all right now. Because my thing is, when you pour out, I don't want you to judge me. That's not good though. I'm
Mhm.
learning now to say I don't. I may not talk a lot, but I'm learning. I'm giving you bits and pieces now. I'm feeling more comfortable now.
Mhm.
Because sometimes you need counseling. You need
Yeah.
help to do it. So I don't win. I get. One of my spiritual brothers. He'll tell my wife when we have a counseling meeting. Mark is like this. I can tell. I can tell him stuff, but when I go to tell you, it's not you judging me. You like, where's this stuff coming from? But it be because us men, we keep a lot of stuff bottled up too.
Yes, y'all be buttoned up to y'all Adam's apple, man. Woo! And that's
Because
so
we scared to
healthy.
release because
Yeah,
the way sometimes it's not only we scared to release because it's the way y'all come at us too afterwards.
yeah. I can be honest. I have been that angry
So we
black
like, man,
woman.
we ain't about to. I ain't about to sit tell you that. You about to come at me, keep coming at me like that. No, baby, I'm cool. I leave it. I'm gonna die with it. It's not good for your health.
Yeah, yeah.
That's why a lot of us got high blood pressure,
Hmm.
stress, oppression, because we don't have. We feel that a lot of men feel that we don't have an outlet
Yeah.
to our own peoples in our own houses, because the way you let come back at us, the comeback sometimes you be like, hold on, who's she talking to like
Because
that?
I'll say
The
this.
clap back, I call it the clap back.
And here is accountability from a black woman because we're listening to respond instead of
Mhm.
listening to understand. And it goes right back to what you said when we first started talking, people talking at you and not talking to you.
To you,
That's a
yeah,
trick for a lot
yes
of
it
people.
is,
That's a
yes it
trick.
is,
And you
and
don't
I
know what or how something is going to trigger you until a situation arises, unfortunately, unless it's a previous experience. Then you know, like, hey, I've been here before. You know what I'm saying? I
mhm.
choose to deal with it the way I did before, or choose to find a different path.
And then
But
a lot of times we'll
um,
snap out too. And
yeah,
so that's what make men snap out because you ain't listening to what I'm saying. Now I'm
yeah.
about to snap out because some women you have to snap out to for them to listen to you. You don't
Mm.
want to go that route,
And that's so
but
unhealthy because
I,
then you
I,
start playing into the hands of the system. And
and
now the family and the household is divided because you couldn't control your emotions.
now not only that, a lot of times you may lash out as the man. I ain't talking about physically putting their hands on my because I don't do that. You may say some words or say it so harsh that your spouse and the kids scared of you. I, d-
You've
I
instilled
never see
fear
that part
into
of
the
daddy.
person.
I never see that.
Ooh,
I never see daddy like that. He done
that's
came real hard. He done came, and they like you wonder why you walk around the house ain't nobody talking to you for the whole week. They scared. Oh, I ain't never seen you come like that. But
mhm,
sometimes it be so much like you said, bottled up to the neck.
yeah.
That's the only way to express it through
Mm,
a harsh something or leave me alone or you be there yelled out and you like bring it back in. But you it's too late. You already said it.
mhm, yeah,
And that's
yeah.
men, it take a lot. Some men it take a lot, some men it don't. Some men they just won't say nothing. Cause me, I shut all the way down on you. Baby, I
Yeah.
ain't even gotta say that to you.
But understand that I do it. I'm learning how to not do it because what happens when you shut down is you close yourself off
Yeah.
to the
I ain't talking to
definite
nobody, no.
possibilities of solving or rectifying the situation. And I didn't realize that, but I'm one of them people, I need time to process. Does that make
Mhm.
sense? I need
Yeah,
time to process what happened, how I responded, and what I could do moving forward.
right. And that's
So that's why I shut down. But I didn't realize that I'm closing myself off to the person that I'm having conflict with, which in turn taught me that I have a problem with conflict and I
I don't
don't know how to go about it the proper way for me to not shut down. Does that make sense? Like
yeah.
I, I haven't learned how to do that yet. It's a
It's
process.
it's a learning thing to
Because I
do.
tell people like I just learned how to use my words, and that sounds crazy at this big age that we at, but
No, it's not.
that's how I was raised. That's what was embedded in me. Those are the things that I used during survival mode. But the catch 22 to that is I'm not in survival mode anymore.
You're
So
not.
when you still operating in those type of things, it's hard for you to see the growth that you've already accomplished, and it's hard to see the room still left to grow. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so that's not even just a man thing; that's a people thing.
I was about to say what I was about to say. We also have to learn that we know shutting down ain't good. And then you have to learn, I'm gonna say from a man aspect, a lot of people now I'm gonna use cussing as an example. You talked about words. You never too old to learn words. I try to my old pastor taught us this about cussing. There's other words in the dictionary to use cuss words, and you can hurt a person real good. I can talk to you real good, and without can hurt your feelings without cussing at you.
Hmm.
That's another trauma.
Yeah.
Because as a kid, if you've been cussed at all your life, that's
Oh,
all you know.
that's so good. Okay.
That's all
Mhm.
you know. So it's
Yeah.
like now I'm
Or
about to cuss
or
my kid.
reprimanded or disciplined in a
Now I'm gonna
certain
cuss my kids out when I see get your little mother. No, I'm not doing that.
That I'm so glad that you brought that up because that's something that I look back on. I'm not proud of it, but I realize it's awareness, especially for past scenarios. But I used to wonder why my son would struggle at school and not take into consideration how I woke him up. Does that make sense? Like
Hmm.
And then we'll say, oh, well, they woke up on the wrong side of the bed. No, it's the way that you woke them up. Because I would be
Get your
screaming and
ASS
hollering.
up.
Yep, I would be
That's what
screaming
he.
and
That,
hollering and cussing and fussing. And I didn't realize that when a child becomes an adult, whatever tone and voice you used while they was growing up is the voice that they will still hear
and they
as
don't want to hear that. I
yeah.
don't want to hear you. I don't want.
Yeah.
So you, and that's when you
Mm,
get.
that's
That's
so
another
good.
thing. That's
Okay.
another thing when you get into marriage. You ain't gonna talk to me like that. I've been talking like that all my life. You ain't about to cuss me out. Hold on now. Who are you talking to?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We
Yeah.
we grew up. We grew up. A lot of people do. A lot of parents do that. My kids will tell you. I never cussed at them. I don't cuss at them. No. There's other words to do to discipline your kid than cussing them. What is that doing? Nothing. But sowing seeds. That's why they don't like you right now. You done
Spell.
cuss them out all. You done cuss them out all they like. That's why they ain't doing their schoolwork up to par. Cause you done cuss them out. Go do that homework. Why go do my homework? You cuss. I ain't doing nothing. Now you wonder why when you go to school, your kids cussing out the teacher.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, mama cussed me out, so I'm about to cuss. And that's the part of lashing out.
Yeah. Oh, I poo. You know the experiences I had, but I also understand it now.
You understand?
There,
Yeah,
everything
but
comes
it's a
back full
process.
circle, man. It
It's
come
a
back full.
process you
Yeah.
had to learn. But a lot of people don't grow up. Like you said earlier, they don't learn. They don't want to grow up.
They don't want to.
No. They
They
don't
don't
still
want
cuss
to.
they still gonna cuss their kids out. For what? What you gaining out of it? Nothing.
I
Or
feel
the
like
angry kid. Or a
all of
kid
these
make
all
watch
of
this.
the issues are embedded in lack of information, which
Hmm.
we living in the information sector of time. There's no way that you should be lacking information. You got to go seek it. It's not going to fall in your lap. You got to want the information. That's number one. Lacking accountability, I think, is the biggest thing that a lot of stuff that we live in today to see and witness is rooted in lack of accountability. Period.
Yep.
You want to do whatever you want because you believe that that's part of free will, but then you don't want to have the accountability and karma that's associated with the choices that you make. And that's just simply not how the world spins for
Nope.
nobody.
It's so much. Man, you got me. It's so much
Man,
that we
cuz
can talk
I
about.
you done
We
came
gonna
on here and blew my whole man. We done ran through this list without even running through the list. You feel what I'm saying?
because we just because what's happening is it had to happen and it had to we just rolling through. It's really the Holy Spirit just letting us flow.
Mhm.
I'm a,
Using
it's,
using us as vessels.
yeah,
Mhm.
that's it. People
Yeah.
need to hear this because a lot of men gonna get free tonight just off
Mhm.
this podcast of us talking about masculinity, and a lot of us men wear masks. We
Woo!
we're gonna do a part. We're gonna do a part two on that. We're
Okay.
gonna do a part two whenever
Mhm.
you want to do it. We're gonna do a part two next Friday. It's up to you. But
Okay.
wearing the
Woo!
mask as a man.
Mmm. Woo. Let me get it on. Let me get it on wax. Let me get it on. Woo. Let me get it on paper. Hmm.
Wearing the mask as a man. A lot of us wear masks.
Mm. When is you gonna totally be yourself without
When?
the extra? Ooh, that's gonna be so. I can't wait. Well, I'm gonna say this. Hey, man, we always have some amazing conversations. You definitely came through and dropped some jewels, some wisdom, some knowledge, and for sure, somebody gonna get what they needed to get from what we did discuss tonight. I appreciate you for coming through again and being my
No
guest.
problem.
And it's always a good time because it's so much for us to touch on. It's so much to discuss. It's who we'll be talking all night. But
So
I'm
much
looking
so
forward.
so much
I'm
for
looking
us to
forward.
learn. So much
Yeah.
for us to learn that right is right and wrong is wrong. It's time out for all this wrong stuff. Because because the world needs to know, and the world needs to look at us different instead of us being a target.
Mhm.
And a lot of times, the black race or black man or black woman is targeted because they scared of us.
Mm,
What do you mean about scared of us? We really is the world, but we don't take into consideration we are.
mm,
We're 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 really the stronger vessels. You talked about welfare earlier. Watch this. People don't know this. There's more white people. There's more white people on food stamps than black people.
mhm.
Look it up.
Oh yeah. It's a lot of
But
things
they
that
try,
has been said about us, stereotypes, non-truth.
but it's not
Yeah.
true. It's not
But
true.
that's when it
It's not
comes
true.
down to you knowing who you are. A lot of
Yeah,
people
and
don't
that's why I.
know who they are. That's why they can't respond. It's like I see all this stuff happening. I'm aware it's happening to me, it's happening around me, it's happening to people I know. But because I haven't removed that veil. See, this part two gonna be crazy because people don't know that the veil is what's keeping them from being able to see straight. You
Watch this. This just helped me. When I was talking, all this stuff I talked about today just freed me up some stuff.
mm, see, look at God.
It helped me out. So when he just said the mask, it's time to take off the mask.
Mm-hmm.
And you be you. And you be who you was created to be
Woo.
as a man.
Mm.
We ain't gonna give y'all no more jewels tonight. Part two coming.
Well, I love
Part
you,
two coming
cuz
next
I
week.
definitely
I
see
love
you
you too.
tomorrow. Um,
Yeah, see you
Shout out
tomorrow.
to Mr. Mo, man. I'm gonna make sure I shout him out, man.
Yeah, Mr. Mo, we
May
love you, man. We'll be to see you
eternal
tomorrow.
peace.
I know you cast the sharp. I already know that.
An amazing man,
But
man. If you had a chance to get
man, I wish we could have got him on the podcast. Woo, baby.
woo, the wisdom. That's all right. He just
Well,
he just spoke through both of us. He know what's going on. He
yes.
know what frequency we on. He always did. So I'll see you next time, cuz. All right, everybody. I'll
Y'all
see
shout
you
out.
back here.
Y'all always, I'm gonna tell the people this. Always check this out. Always check my cousin out. Unspoken Truth podcast. She about to go global. She already global. I'm about to say it. I'm gonna be the first person to say it on your pod. She about to go international.
Hmm.
How about that?
Speak. I
Y'all talking about
receive
global.
that.
We going international. Now I'm about to use my gift before we get off here. She about to go international. So don't be trying to call her when the ratings go up and that money start coming
Mm,
in because it's gonna come in in the next 3 months while y'all want to play.
mm,
And she ain't that part-time job gonna be over with in the next 4 months because she gonna be a multi-millionaire by this time next year. How
I
about that?
receive it.
And I'm gonna leave you with that.
I receive it, guys. I do. Yes, I do. I love y'all, man. I will see y'all right
I love
back
you.
here on Tuesday at 11 a.m. And make sure y'all back here next Friday because my cousins are going to be back. We're going to do a part two. The men who wear
Yes,
masks.
ma'am.
All right, y'all.
All right.
Until next time, peace.